This conference will now be recorded.
Good evening, everyone. I'd like to welcome you to the City of Warrenville City Council regular meeting for December 7th, 2020. A reminder that in accordance with social distancing requirements, Governor Pritzker's Executive Orders 2020-43 and 2020-44 and Section 7E of the Illinois Open Meetings Act, and a determination by the mayor of the City of Warrenville, this meeting will be held virtually. Persons wishing to provide public comment are strongly encouraged to submit written comments via email at info@warrenville.il.us by 5 p.m. on the day of the meeting. And a reminder, this meeting is being recorded. May I have a roll call, please?
Mayor Brummel,
Here.
Alderman Ashour,
Here.
Alderman Berry,
Here.
Alderman Davalos,
Here.
Alderman Goodman,
Here.
Alderman Krischel,
Here.
Alderman Widener,
Here.
Alderman Wilson,
Here.
Treasurer Brenner,
Here.
City Attorney Brooke Lenneman,
Here.
City Administrator John Coakley,
Here.
Assistant City Administrator Christina White,
Here.
Police Chief Ray Turano,
Here.
Finance Director Kevin Dahlstrand,
Here.
Community and Economic Development Director Ron Menzer,
Here.
Deputy Public Work Director Phil Kukler.
Here.
Thank you, Emily. We will now do the Pledge of Allegiance. We'll say it here and invite you to say it along with us at home. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. This is the portion of our program that we set aside for citizens' comments at every meeting. We'll take those in attendance first. We have one person in attendance this evening, Mr. Bob Siebert. Welcome, Bob.
Bob Siebert, Albright Court. On item C of tonight's meeting, it states that the Winfield Township assessor states that there will be $4,300,000 of new construction. My question is, what portion of this new construction is in the TIF districts and what portion is out of the TIF districts?
Are you asking for an answer right now?
If it's available.
Is that available? Staff, is anybody able to respond to that?
I don't know if they.
Community and Economic Development Director Menzer, do you have an idea, or would you like to get back to him on that?
Mayor, this is Finance Director Dahlstrand. We will have to get back to him with an answer on that question.
Okay.
Okay. The reason why this is important is the fact that in the calculation to determine the consolidated tax rate, the EAV new construction in the TIF districts is not included. Only that new construction that is outside the TIFs is included in the determination of the new tax rate. And if we're looking at the 2019 tax rates and levies, this 4 million would bring the city at $1 million of the EAV would bring the city $6,600 total to the city. So it will have a great impact on both the TIF budget and the city's budget to determine the amount of new construction that goes to the TIFs and that goes to the non-TIF areas. And it is only that construction that goes to the non-TIF areas that is a benefit to the existing taxpayers, because that will have a determination in the determining the consolidated tax rate. So in planning and budgeting is extremely important to have this. And the county clerk has this information because in order to determine later the consolidated tax rates, they have to have this. To give you an idea, a $75,000 salary of a City of Warrenville individual would take $11.4 million of EAV to substantiate this. If we added in also the payroll taxes, the insurance, the pension, it would go up to 15.5 million of EAV to take care of one employee with a $75,000 gross wages. So it's extremely important to know this. And one other item that I have concern about is on the 16th of November, it was read that Fred Bevere had resigned. However, on the 16th of November, the 23rd of November, the December newsletter, and tonight's meeting, I see no information stating that there will be two individuals elected in Ward 1 in April. It's hard to see that we should be publicizing and letting the residents in Ward 1 know that there is a opening. If we do not, there will not be anybody running if they don't have that information. The only information that someone has is the person that is being appointed. And I don't think that that is good transparency.
Thank you, Bob. Do we have any email comments for this evening's meeting? Seeing none, do we have anyone on the phone who would like to make a comment? Please identify yourself and make your comment. Okay, once we conclude this section, there will not be another opportunity at this meeting for public comment.
Excuse me.
So
Excuse me. This is
We have
Justin
someone?
Schlunsky. Justin Schlunsky, SHLENSKY, on behalf of petitioner for Section 7B as in Bravo, the special use permit for outdoor storage. Just like to introduce myself and let the City Council know that if you have any questions with regard to the petition, please do not be afraid to direct such questions towards me.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, could you please spell your name again?
Hello, this is Melanie Hart from Speedway. I'm just on the phone for any questions regarding the consent agenda item A for the Speedway gas station request for extension of the ordinance.
Okay, and your name again, please?
Melanie Hart.
Thank you. And then our first speaker, could we have your name again, please, spelled for the clerk?
Justin, Justin, last name Schlunsky, SHLENSKY. And I might have misspoken earlier when I indicated that it was Section 7. I did believe I misspoke. It's actually 7.6, item B is in Bravo.
All right, thank you. We're having some interference here. I forgot to shut my phone off, and I'm shutting it off right now, just in case I'm guilty. All right, anyone else on the phone which would like to speak up? All right, thank you both for checking in. We'll move on to official and staff comments. A couple of things this evening. First of all, congratulations to the Park District on maybe the best ever holidays, given the difficult circumstance. The number of people that participated in a very successful event was just phenomenal. I've heard an estimate of 1,000 cars coming through Warrenville for a very, very nicely designed and very well-run event. It was just a sea of smiles. It was wonderful to see the car full of kids and parents and grandparents that drove through to see Santa, the live music, the decorated Christmas trees. All of it was just a complete delight and a complete success. So well done, Warrenville Park District. Second of all, we have, every year we have a community calendar that's underwritten. The cost is underwritten by a local business. We are doing that again this year. The calendars will be available on December 15th. A little difference in the distribution this year. They will be available here at City Hall. They will also be available at Family Foods because Family Foods is the sponsor this year. So we really appreciate Nick and his gang helping us out with this. And if you look at the back of the calendar, I'll give you a sneak preview of what Family Foods is going to be renamed when they do their grand opening as a new store. It's on the back of the calendar. So get your copies either at Family Foods or here at City Hall. Again, they will be available to pick up on December 15th. And some excellent photographs again by Keith Swindon. Specializing this time in the various trees of Warrenville. So it's going to be a very pretty calendar. Again, December 15th, City Hall or Family Foods, or Frank's as us old folks like to call it. That's all I have for this evening. Clerk?
Thank you, Mayor. I want to let everybody know that the petition packets for the April 6th, 2021 consolidated election will be accepted Monday, December the 14th, through Monday, December the 21st. City Hall will be open to the public from 8 a.m. to 1 p.m. Anyone wishing to submit a packet after 1 p.m. should call the city clerk's office at 630-836-3050 when you arrive at the Manning Avenue entrance. That's the lower entrance, not the one on Stafford Place. And either the city clerk or the deputy clerk will come downstairs and accept your petition and provide you with a receipt. Again, the last day to submit petitions is Monday, December the 21st at 5 p.m. Not 5:01, but 5 p.m. And if you have any questions, please call my office. Thank you.
Thank you, Emily. Treasurer?
It's remembering Pearl Harbor Day. Thank you.
Thank you, Larry. We'll go through the aldermen now for anyone who might have comments before we start the meeting. Alderman Ashauer?
I'd just like to thank the Park District for all that they do for the community. Their public events are kind of showcase how they make us all look, and it is very nice. Thank you.
Thank you, Alderman. Alderman Berry?
No comments. Thank you.
Thank you. Alderman Davalos?
No comment other than what Alderman Ashauer said about the Park District. They are just wonderful. So much effort went into this. Thank you.
Thank you, Alderman. Alderman Goodman?
I too was going to wish everyone a very good Pearl Harbor Day. My family and I tried to attend holidays on Friday, but spent about 40 minutes sitting in a car in front of the post office on Batavia Road. So if future drive-through events are held in a similar location, my suggestion would be that there's some traffic direction going on at Batavia and Butterfield. I think that would have helped a little bit. But I was able to go back much later that evening and drive through and take a look at the beautiful trees and lights, and that was really delightful. Our city buildings and the lights in front of the Public Works building and police department and the whole Albright Park area, as most people don't know it's called, really looks just beautiful, and it was a magical display. So that was a lot of fun.
Thank you, Alderman. Alderman Krischel?
I have no comment. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. And Alderman Wilson?
No comments. Thank you.
Thank you. We will move on then to the city administrator. Oh, Alderman Widener. How did I miss Alderman Widener?
Well, thank
Sorry,
you.
Alderman Widener.
That's okay. Thank you. I have a couple things I wanted to comment about tonight. First of all, I always appreciate staff communicating with us via the weekly reports. And this week, when I was reviewing it, I noticed a statement in the speed compliance and traffic volume report referencing River Road near Forest View Drive. And there's in the comments section, it says that there's more than 85% of the vehicles were within the speed limit. No excessive speed was recorded. But then in the next sentence, it goes on to say the River Road has an unusually high speed limit considering its residential location, so speeding vehicles are not common in the area. And I would just hope that staff would concern itself with these kinds of roadways if they are indeed deemed by one city department as being excessive, that maybe they could look into it and consider lowering it if it was appropriate. So that was the first thing I had. And then in the report too, I noticed that there was an awful lot of fraudulent activity that's been reported, mainly regarding unemployment claims. And I know several of the aldermen too had also received fraudulent information coming from the mayor's office. So it's really rampant out there. And I would suggest that any citizens that are asked for any kind of personal information, credit card information, social security card information, that they really pinch themselves, hold up a red light in front of their eyes, and consider whether or not the request is appropriate or not. Because more often than not, it has been some kind of fraud, identity theft, or deceptive practice. And then in line with the joyful time of year, it's also a time I noticed where there's an awful lot of domestic disputes and aggravation going on. And I know that 911 is available. I don't know if there's another phone number that can be listed where people who are experiencing conflicts within their family and loved ones could reach out and get help. But I noticed that there's a fair number of domestic disturbances that are going on in our fine city too. And I just hope that, people are encouraged to find a way to get help and the support they need during this time of year. So that's all. Thank you very much, Mayor.
Thank you, Alderman. Okay, now City Administrator.
Thank you, Mayor. A couple of comments. I too found holidays amazing. I had one of my grandchildren with Debbie and I in the car. I'm going to publicly admit Debbie was right. We got in line early. We were about the 8th or 10th car, sat for about 30 minutes waiting, but they let us get going early, and it was really amazing. And having a grandchild in the car doing the oohs and ahs, and that's a great experience. They did a great job. The comment is already, thank you, Alderman Goodman. The comment has, I believe, been shared. They did not anticipate the number of people that would attend, and we'll be looking if we do that again or if it's done against the city and a Park District partnership, but all the credit for that event goes to the Park District. Looking at some traffic direction for next year. Sorry, lost my notes here. Also, thank you, Public Works. A couple of you said it, amazing job of decorating the whole area around here. But also kudos to the employees who decorated and then will take down the decorations for the city tree. We had one of the trees along the aisle of trees that were decorated. So I'm sorry. Oh, one of my staff members is encouraging you to vote for that tree, but you can vote as you wish.
That would be number 13.
I'm not accustomed to telling people how to vote.
Yeah, the city tree would be number 13, as I recall.
Sure. People can look at them on Facebook and then choose. But it was very nicely done.
What was the number of that tree again for the city?
Don't know.
13, I guess.
13 apparently. Anyway, on to
My bloom tree was tree number 9.
Okay,
yes,
here we go.
They were all very nicely done, and please vote accordingly.
Yeah.
Moving on to another issue, a little more serious. Today's health DuPage County Health Department briefing on COVID-19. A lot about the vaccine planning and distribution. Now it's all pending the federal approval of the vaccine being released on the emergency basis. But then they have shipments that are ready to come to the state and to DuPage County, and they have a plan for distributing that. You can go to the DuPage County Health Department website and see that information. We're working on a post for Facebook. It might even be up already, just directing people there if you do have questions. It's a very positive thing. The vaccines are coming. Couldn't come soon enough, but the information and the planning, please be patient with health officials. They've got a lot of work to do to distribute. They emphasize how different this is from the H1N1 vaccine more than a decade ago, and other planning that has been done because they're trying to get everyone possible to be vaccinated now and in a whole different way. Just as an example, they don't want to have a mass gathering where everyone comes in with their whole family to get vaccinated because that could create its own super spreader event. So they're doing an amazing job at the health department, and there is a finish line in sight. Thank you.
Thank you, John. City Attorney, Brooke?
I have no report tonight. Thanks, Mayor.
All right, thank you. We'll move on then to the approval of the agenda for this evening. Could I have a motion, please? Alderman Widener, would you like to make that motion?
Yes, thank you. I would like to remove item A, and with the removal of item A from the agenda, make a motion to approve agenda for the December 7th, 2020 City Council regular meeting.
Mayor, it's Alderman Davalos. Could I please remove J and K?
Motioner agrees.
Oops.
This is Alderman Goodman. I'm going to ask to remove item 6N.
Motioner agrees.
N.
N is in Nancy.
Okay, so just to recap, we're asking to approve the agenda, less items A, J, K, and N. Those changes have been approved by the motioner and the seconder. Alderman Krischel, do you have a question?
I would like to remove item B as in boy, please.
B, okay.
And I would like to second because I don't think anyone did.
They did not. Okay, do we have a second?
I just seconded it.
Okay, Alderman Goodman seconded. Okay, so we have a motion and a second for the amended agenda for this evening for the consent agenda. May I have a roll call, please?
Alderman Berry,
Aye.
Alderman Widener,
Aye.
Alderman Krischel,
Aye.
Alderman Wilson,
Aye.
Alderman Ashour,
Aye.
Alderman Goodman,
Aye.
Alderman Davalos.
Aye.
Motion carries. The agenda as amended has been approved. We have 2 sets of minutes that need approval also this evening. Alderman Widener, would you like to make that motion also?
Thank you. I move to approve the minutes of the November 16th, 2020 City Council regular meeting, and move to approve the minutes of the November 23rd, 2020 Public Safety and Finance Committee meeting.
Second, Alderman Davalos.
Great, we have a motion and a second. Any discussion or question on those minutes? Please identify yourself and speak up. Hearing none, we have a roll call, please.
Alderman Krischel,
Aye.
Alderman Wilson,
Aye.
Alderman Berry,
Aye.
Alderman Goodman,
Aye.
Alderman Davalos,
Aye.
Alderman Widener,
Aye.
Alderman Ashour.
Aye.
Thank you, Emily. I will now read the consent agenda as amended. Item 6C, offer first reading of the 2020 property tax levy ordinance 02020-43 for the levy and assessment of taxes for the fiscal year beginning May 1st, 2020 and ending April 30th, 2021. D, accept Mayor Brummel's recommendation and pass resolution R2020-72, extending the duration of the March 16th, 2020 declaration of emergency until the adjournment of the next regular, special, or emergency meeting of the City Council. E, accept staff recommendation and pass resolution R2020-73, approving a master contract and task order number 1 with Terracon Consultants Incorporated for the construction and engineering services for the 2020 underground storage tank removal in an amount of $60,000. F, accept Public Safety and Finance Committee recommendation and pass resolution R2020-74, accepting a renewal quote for the city liability and workman's compensation insurance coverages for the calendar year of 2021 from Arthur J. Gallagher and Company in the amount of $447,709. G, accept Public Safety and Finance Committee recommendation and pass resolution R2020-75, replacing the water and sewer utility extension policies and process with a new water and sewer utility extension policy. H, accept Public Safety and Finance Committee recommendation and pass resolution R2020-76, approving an agreement with All Information Services Incorporated for a 24-month term at an annual cost of $96,000. I, accept Public Safety and Finance Committee recommendation, approve the Warren Tavern Funding Assistance Procedure, and direct staff to include $10,000 in the hotel tax fund beginning with the FY 2022 proposed budget. L, accept Public Safety and Finance Committee recommendation and adopt the Safety Committee's trenching safety policy effective immediately. M, accept Public Safety and Finance Committee recommendation and approve the request to solicit donations for Special Olympics Illinois Law Enforcement Torch Run 2021 calendar year events following applicable COVID-19 guidelines. O, receive and file minutes of the Board and of Fire and Police Commission special meeting held on July 22nd, 2020. P, receive and file minutes of the Board and Fire and Police Commission regular meeting held on July 28th, 2020. Q, receive and file minutes of the Board and Fire and Police Commission special meeting held on August 19th, 2020. R, receive and file minutes of the Bicyclist and Pedestrian Advisory Commission regular meeting held on October 13th, 2020. S, receive and file minutes of the Tourism and Arts Commission regular meeting held on October 15th, 2020. T, receive and file minutes of the Community Relations Task Force regular meeting held on October 27th, 2020. U, receive and file minutes of the Plan Commission Zoning Board of Appeals regular meeting held on November 19th, 2020. V, receive and file report of invoices paid up to December 2nd, 2020 in the amount of $100,471.87. W, authorize expenditures for invoices due on or before December 21st, 2020 in the amount of $404,118.07. And X, receive and file report of master debit card expenditures for the month of October 2020 in the amount of $6,363.92. May I have a motion, please?
Alderman Widener moves to approve the agenda as presented by Mayor David Brommel.
Alderman Davalos, second.
A motion and a second. May I have a roll call, please?
Alderman Ashour.
Aye.
Alderman Goodman.
Aye.
Alderman Widener.
Aye.
Alderman Wilson.
Aye.
Alderman Berry.
Aye.
Alderman Davalos.
Aye.
Alderman Krischel.
Aye.
Thank you, Emily. The consent agenda as amended has been approved. We will now return to the items that were taken off the consent agenda, beginning with item 6A. Alderman Widener, did you wish to bring that forward, or would you like someone else to make the motion?
Mayor, I respectfully request someone else to make the motion, please.
Okay. Would someone do that, please?
Alderman Ashour, I'd make a motion to accept staff recommendation, waive second reading, and pass ordinance 02020-41 granting extension approvals for redevelopment of the Speedway gas station at the northwest corner of Route 59 and Batavia Road.
Thank you. A motion and a second. We will go to discuss.
Second.
I'm sorry, Alderman Goodman. I knew she was going to do that. That's why. We will start discussion with Alderman Widener.
Thank you. As you can see from the petitioner's letter, this is the second one-year long extension to the development of this property. And as I understand it, and correct me if I'm wrong, that there's been an ownership change in the meantime since we've extended the one-year extension. And I'm just a little bit concerned about extending it again in light of the fact that so many things can change over that 2 years. I'm not sure we would grant the same extensions to a residential homeowner or someone else who had plans to build things and then delayed by 2 or more years. As you know, EPA standards have changed a lot in the last year, and they're likely to continue changing. And there could be additional safeguards brought into effect, and there also might be changes regarding some of the safety equipment. There's the potential for solar. I don't know if electric vehicles have been addressed in the plans and blueprints for this. And then there was always the concern with the flow of traffic pulling out onto Batavia Road with the pedestrian transportation corridor in that area that we had concerns with. So there could be, with the accepted zoning and sign variations that were part of this project, there could be, we may want to take another look at that, and particularly the Plan Commission, rather than just extend this for another year. I just think that things can change so much with electric vehicles and electric charging stations. And then I know we've always had it on the forefront of our strategic plan to encourage solar treatments. And, that advances more and more every year. And I would just like to, come back and address the project again without having this extension in place. Thank you.
Thank you, Alderman. Could we have a Community and Economic Development Director Menser give us maybe a little explanation of what this extension means?
Good evening. Thank you, Mayor. The applicant has informed the staff and has submitted a letter to the City Council to document some of the struggles they're having with moving forward with this project. At this point in time, like many businesses, they're being impacted by COVID, and that's certainly a major consideration, as I understand it, in their delay of moving this project forward. There's also been I'm not sure exactly what the final status is, but certainly there was some transition in the ownership of corporate Speedway. I'm not sure if 7-Eleven has taken them over entirely at this point in time, but that was something that was happening, and certainly was another major factor in the decision to delay the installation or completion of this particular project. From a staff perspective, as it's outlined in the staff report, we see these as reasonable special circumstances, and from our perspective, they would warrant an extension. We're not aware of any specific new developments that would change or require another reconsideration by the Plan Commission. That being said, I would acknowledge that something could come up in the next year that would be different than what we know today, and that could impact it. But at this point in time, there's nothing that's on the horizon that in a staff perspective would change the recommendation that we made or that the Plan Commission made to the City Council.
Thank you, Ron. Before we go to comments from the other aldermen, then Justin, would you like to say a few words? A representative of Speedway?
It's actually Melanie Hart. I'm on the phone.
Oh,
for
I'm sorry,
Speedway.
Melanie. It was just had my note in the wrong place. Go ahead, Melanie.
Yeah, I just wanted to comment for the first alderman that spoke. We still have not submitted our building drawing set, so we will still be working with the City of Warrenville's engineering department and building department as the project proceeds, and we are able to with budget, hopefully next year, and keep the project moving along. If anything changes that requires us to come back through Plan Commission or City Council, we will definitely do that. But for right now, the project is on hold, and we will continue the process with the departments once we can continue moving forward.
Okay, Melanie, thank you very much. We will go to the alderman now for questions and or comments on this, beginning with Alderman Ashauer.
Community Director, I'm sorry. Ron, if anything changes with the EPA, it has to be adhered to by the new development if it comes, correct?
That's correct. The city doesn't circumvent any new EPA or Office of State Fire Marshal requirements as it relates to the various permits and requirements that the development has to comply with at that level.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, Alderman Berry.
I have no comment. Thank you.
Thank you, Alderman Davalos.
I have nothing to add at this time. Thank you.
Thank you, Alderman Goodman.
I am glad that Alderman Widener took this off because I've had some concerns about this property lately that this gives me an opportunity to at least mention to a representative. I think it's been years since I've been able to get any of those pumps to print a receipt, but on my most recent visit in the past week, I couldn't even get it to pump gas. I'm very concerned about the ongoing maintenance of this property. It's an old property. It has been in some disrepair and isn't the most aesthetically pleasing location in town, let me say. But the other night I was tired, it was late, and I ended up driving away with 1.6 gallons of gas because I couldn't get the pump to give me any more than that. At that level, when things like that are broken at your facility, you know, what steps, if we give you this extension, are you going to take to improve the maintenance?
Melanie, would you like to respond?
Yeah, I'll actually go back and speak to my operations group about the issues with the pumps. But the ordinance does require us to start work, if it is approved for the extension, to begin starting work by February 19th, 2022, and do the proposed rebuild of the site and get things up and running, you know, much better with the new build. I will see what my operations group can do in the meantime until this project does get constructed. And I could probably follow up with Natalia about it as well.
Okay, because one of the big advantages to granting the approval for this project in the first place was that the initial presentation was that the reconstruction was going to happen soon and that would address some of these ongoing maintenance issues at the property. So having to delay it does seem, you know, if it's not till 2022 that customers can easily get gas. I mean, I'm sure some people can get the pumps to work. I'm sure the problem isn't, I don't know. The point is just that this is a recurring issue at your property. I've been getting gas there since I learned how to drive. It's not that your customers don't want to buy your gas. But if the facility isn't being well maintained, then giving you more extensions before you can do the renovations isn't always the greatest idea. Luckily, I drive a hybrid, so 1.6 gallons of gas takes me about 100 miles.
Can I ask you what date possibly you were out there just to see maybe what was going on? It could have been just not enough fuel in the tanks and the pumps turned off or something along those lines.
I can look that up and
Was it
get
last week?
that information to staff, but it was last week sometime.
Last week. Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Alderman. Where am I at here? Alderman Chrisell.
I have no comments. Thank you.
Okay, Alderman Widener, did you have any additional comments you wish to make?
Yeah, I would just reiterate that their level of responsiveness is disappointing, to say the least. I think it's the city that is constantly reaching out to them and getting them to forward their interest in development on this site, and that they don't necessarily communicate with the city or are necessarily moving ahead with a directed plan. As the owner representative stated, that they hopefully will get something going next year. And I just find that the extension is unacceptable to go on for 2 years, that they should renew their interest, especially after giving them a 1-year grace period. And again, it is the city reaching out to them to tell them to re-up and recertify their interest in the development of this property. So I'm very disappointed in, again, their level of responsiveness and the care of the property and the different maintenance issues that go on there. And I would hope, if they do get an extension this time, that there is some kind of level of activity and increased communication with the city regarding this project, because it has been disappointing. Thank you.
Thank you, Alderman. And finally, Alderman Wilson.
My only comment would be that because of the delays here, I want to make sure that if there are any changes in requirements that develop between now and 2022, that they're ready to accept any changes in the requirements that may be established during that period of time. So just with that understanding that, we can look at it again and make sure that they're going to be up to date of those requirements in 2022. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Alderman. Has everyone been heard on this issue? Can we go to the vote now? We did have a motion and a second, right? Okay. Roll call then, please.
Alderman Berry,
Aye.
Alderman Chrisell,
Aye.
Alderman Widener,
Nay.
Alderman Wilson,
Aye.
Alderman Ashour,
Aye.
Alderman Goodman,
Aye.
Alderman Davalos.
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you, Melanie, for attending this evening. We'll move on to item 6B. Alderman Chrisell, did you wish to bring that forward?
Excuse me, yes, I can do that. I'd like to make a motion to accept the Plan Commission recommendation, waive second reading, and pass ordinance O-2020-42, approving a special use permit for outdoor storage at 29W030 Main Street.
Second, Alderman Davalos.
Okay, motion and a second. Discussion. We'll begin again with Alderman Chrisell.
Thank you, Mayor. Yeah, my concern or question is regarding this property and the previous occupants of this property operated a similar business here, and I think there was some code enforcement things that happened, primarily semi-trucks parked on the street. The building was kind of in disrepair, and all of these things have been outlined in the special use permit document here that would be addressed if the special use permit was approved. The question is regarding what recourse the city would have if this property or this business then kind of slips away and becomes kind of the same as we had in the past, right? With some of this enforcement stuff. What would the city's obligation be at that point?
Okay, Community and Economic Development Director Menzer.
Essentially, what would happen is that it would become a code enforcement case for the city. That is ultimately what ended up happening with the last occupant of this space. It became a code enforcement case that was ultimately processed through the city's administrative adjudication process, which ultimately resulted in the former occupant of the building agreeing to vacate the property, understanding and acknowledging that they had outgrown the property. So in this case, if the special use permit ordinance that's before you tonight is approved and the applicant for some reason does not comply with the conditions contained in that ordinance, or ceases at some point in the future to comply with those conditions and restrictions, we would process it through the code enforcement process, and ultimately, if they're found to be in violation of the ordinance, the city council could revoke the special use permit, which would mean that they would not be able to perform any of the outdoor operations that are covered by and allowed under the special use permit.
Thank you, Ron. Alderman Christian, additional question?
No, I think that pretty much, I mean, the list here is pretty extensive. I just want to make sure that I think a representative is on the phone that is acknowledging that some of these items are, pretty big, repairing some drainage issues, some parking lot repairs, asphalt, things like that. I just want to make sure that, that's addressed, I guess.
Okay, Justin, are you still on the line? Could we hear from you?
I am.
Of your commitment?
Yes, thank you. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Great, yes. Justin Schlemsky for the petitioner. I appreciate the questions and the commentary. As for the conditions, yes, these were, I believe, it's a total of 12 conditions that were put upon the property by the Planning and Zoning Board, along with the Fire Protection District Review form as well, in that earlier memo. So most, these are items that are acceptable that were discussed between the two planning and zoning meetings that occurred in November. My client is, willing to move forward with these conditions. We feel that the property is well suited for the operation or the proposed operations of the business, along with keeping the current commercial clients that are there. And then as for, the storage, it is strictly for storage for, scaffolding and fencing type material, which is actually more flame retardant than the materials that were previously stored there by the now current owner, seller of the property, as my client is the contract purchaser. So as for, location of dumpster, landscaping, facade improvement, the parking lot issues, these are all things that are acceptable to my client that I am extremely confident will be taken care of and met within the appropriate timeframes, along with, meeting with city staff to obtain occupancy and move forward in the best direction.
Okay, thank you. Additional question, Alderman Kerschel?
No, that's good. Thank you.
All right, thank you. We'll go through the other aldermen to see if there are comments or questions for anyone else. Alderman Eschauer?
No comments.
Thank you. Alderman Berry?
No comment.
Thank you. Alderman Davalos?
No comment.
Thank you. Alderman Goodman?
No questions.
Okay, thank you. And Alderman Christian, we've heard from. Alderman Widener?
Thank you. No questions or comments.
Okay, and Alderman Wilson?
No comments.
Thank you. We're ready then for a roll call. Emily, please.
Alderman Davalos?
Aye.
Alderman Eschauer?
Aye.
Alderman Christian?
Aye.
Alderman Widener?
Aye.
Alderman Wilson?
Aye.
Alderman Berry?
Aye.
Alderman Goodman?
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you. We'll move on to the next item that was taken off the consent agenda. Item 6J, Alderman Davalos, did you wish to bring that forward? Or would you like
Yes, I will bring it forward.
Okay.
I would like to make a motion to accept Public Safety and Finance Committee recommendation and accept the updated Enterprise Maintenance and Replacement Plan dated December 7th, 2020.
Second.
Second by Alderman Goodman. Thank you. Discussion, back to you, Alderman Davalos.
Yes, I just have a quick comment that I feel I need to make since I was a no vote in the committee of the whole on this. And I have had the opportunity to talk with several people, several staff people that cleared up a lot of my questions. I was able to brainstorm some things, and I come back to originally how I felt, but even though I voted no, was I wanted to say now that it's a really good plan. And I want to thank everybody on that committee, including the two aldermen, Alderman Wilson and Alderman Goodman, and the staff. This is a challenging job, this enterprise fund. And it has some challenge. It's going to be tough. And I think they came at it with great determination, great just wanting to head into it and wanting to be, they were creative. And I think I am very confident that while it's not going to be totally easy and we don't have all the answers yet, that really amazing people are thinking about it and putting their heads together. So I'm very proud of that group. And I'm very satisfied now to be a yes voter. And I just wanted to express that.
Thank you, Alderman. We'll go through the other aldermen to see if there are additional comments then. Alderman Ashour?
No comments. Thank you.
Thank you. Alderman Berry?
No comment. Thank you.
Thank you. Alderman Davalos has spoken. Alderman Goodman?
I just wanted to say I really appreciate Alderman Davalos taking the time and energy and effort to get up to speed on these complex issues. It is a challenging subject for sure, and we're going to keep working hard on it. It's not over by any stretch of the imagination. Thank you.
Thank you, Alderman. Alderman Krischel?
No comments. Thanks.
Very good. Alderman Widener?
Thank you. No comments.
Okay, and Alderman Wilson?
Thank you, Alderman Davalos. I appreciate it very much.
Very good. That's everyone. So we can go to a roll call then.
Alderman Krischel,
Aye.
Alderman Wilson,
Aye.
Alderman Berry,
Aye.
Alderman Goodman,
Aye.
Alderman Davalos,
Aye.
Alderman Widener,
Aye.
Alderman Ashour.
Aye.
Thank you, Emily. We'll now go to item 6K. Again, Alderman Davalos, did you wish to bring that one forward?
I will bring that one forward. I will bring it forward after I say a little bit of apology. The more I think about it, I should have put this in Alderman comments, so we didn't have to go through the list every time. But anyway, here we go. Yes, I'd like to make a motion to accept Public Safety and Finance Committee recommendation and direct staff to issue a request for proposals for financial advisor services to assist the city in the evaluation of financing options for the proposed water tower, well, and iron filtration facility in TIP 4.
Second, Alderman Goodman.
Second by Alderman Goodman. Thank you, Alderman. Back to you, Alderman Davalos. Comments?
Yes, I just felt again that it was an opportunity for education to the public, because anytime usually when people see this evaluation of financing options, people can get a little nervous about that. But what I wanted to say, I guess, is to ditto what I said on the previous motion, is that there are amazing people working on how to use TIF 4, this very beautiful, beneficial tool that we have to let us do development that we normally, and infrastructure improvements that we normally couldn't afford. And as I read through the memo from City Administrator Coakley and Finance Director Dahlstrand, I just wanted to draw attention to the public, if anyone's listening. It is 6K in the agenda. This is a beautiful memo. For all the controversy about TIF and not understanding TIF, this lays out, with this example of the water tower and the surrounding things, a perfect way that TIF 4 is being used to get exactly what we want without using general fund dollars and asking people for more money. It's just a great example of TIF, and it's done in one page. So if anybody's interested and is nervous about this financing wording and maybe is inquisitive about TIF, this is a golden opportunity to learn exactly how it works and exactly why we approved this and have supported this, and we are getting so much bang out of our buck. So that's all I have to say, and thank you.
Thank you, Alderman. Okay, we'll go to the other alderman for questions or comments, beginning again with Alderman Ashauer.
No comments.
Okay, thank you. Alderman Berry.
And no comment, thank you.
Very good. Thank you. Shut that off, will you? I thought I shut my phone off. I guess not. Alderman Davalos.
No more to say.
Okay, Alderman Goodman.
I think that it is a tremendous compliment to the city officials and city staff that we have done so little borrowing that we need to hire a financial advisor to help us figure out how to do this now that we have to. I think that there are a lot of other towns where they have had years of experience with these issues that we have not had. And so, yes, unfortunately, we need to hire a financial advisor for this. Thank you.
Thank you. Alderman Krischel.
No comments. Thank you.
Very good. Thank you. Alderman Widener.
Thank you. I have no questions.
Okay, and Alderman Wilson.
Thank you. I hope this gets approved and we can put it to bed.
Thank you, Alderman. Let's give it a try. How about a roll call?
Alderman Ashauer,
Aye.
Alderman Goodman,
Aye.
Alderman Widener,
Aye.
Alderman Wilson,
Aye.
Alderman Berry,
Aye.
Alderman Davalos,
Aye.
Alderman Krischel.
Aye.
And the motion carries. Thank you so much. We'll move on then to item 6N. Alderman Goodman, did you wish to bring that forward?
Yes, I'd like to make a motion to accept Mayor Brummel's recommendation and approve the appointment of Jay Anderson to fill the City Council Ward 1 Alderman vacancy for a term expiring April 30th, 2021.
Second, Alderman Davalos.
A motion and a second. Thank you. Begin discussion with Alderman Goodman.
Thank you. I wanted to take this off partly so that we would have the opportunity to hear from and speak to our new potential colleague, who I understand is present for this call.
I believe
Is that
so.
correct?
Jay, are you there?
I sure am, Mayor.
Great, thank you. Okay, Alderman, back to you.
Okay, I mean, I'd like to give him the chance to say hello and tell us why he wants this job a little bit.
Back to you, Jay.
I'd say it would now be the right time. Well, I very much appreciate the opportunity to come forward to the council. I've been a resident of Warrenville now for just a handful of years, about 4 years. We moved into Horse Farm at the end of Glen Drive South, and we have fallen in love with the city. We couldn't believe we were in North Naperville before we moved over. We couldn't believe what just a handful of miles did just for the encouragement for our family and just the environment. And so just truly enjoy everything that we've come to know about Warrenville. I spend a lot of time in as an executive within Northwestern Medicine, managing board and governance. I've been out in DeKalb overseeing 2 of the hospitals in DeKalb County, where I've had an opportunity to work with the Economic Development Committee, DCEDC for DeKalb County. And it's my first exposure to really economic development. And I found just great encouragement when you can help the environment that we live in grow. We were able to bring Ferreira, Candies, and Facebook to 2 properties that were well designed for those uses, but working with the lit mayors of Sycamore and DeKalb to just continue to grow those 2 particular towns, I realized just how encouraging this kind of work can be. And so I was approached by a friend who was aware of the opening. She asked me to look into it. So I've spent time reading through council minutes. I watched a previous meeting. So not met you all in person, but I've seen you on Zoom or whatever the platform is. And just seeing everyone's dedication to the work, I was excited to put my hat in the ring. And so had the opportunity to sit down with the mayor and talk through a little of his vision and to get to know each other a little bit. And I would love the opportunity to serve with you to help continue to grow our town in the way that you've been stewarding it so far. Oh, I also had a chance, I'd remiss if I didn't, my opportunity to talk with Councilman Ashour. He was a great guy. We got to talk, I think it was a Saturday morning or so, and just sharing his history with not just our ward, but experience on the council made me even more encouraged to have the opportunity to serve with you.
Thank you, Jay. Alderman Goodman, any additional commentary?
Well, I just want to say, Mr. Anderson, it is a pleasure to meet you. Welcome to our meeting. I hope that you take the responsibilities seriously and understand in advance what you think your approach is going to be when it comes to tasks that are in front of you. I'm sure you're very busy, and this can be a time-consuming project, being an elected official. So I hope that we can count on you to show up when people need to be involved in all the issues that are facing Warrenville.
Thank you,
I appreciate that guidance, and I think you'll find that that is my approach, and you'll find me well prepared.
Thank you very much.
Okay, we'll go on to the other alderman for comments and hopefully welcomes. Alderman Ashour.
Welcome aboard.
There you go.
After the vote.
We're making an assumption, aren't we? Alderman Berry.
Welcome, and I hope you enjoy your time with the rest of the members of the City Council.
Thank you, Alderman. Alderman Davalos.
Yes, I would like to say welcome also. And after reading your resume, I am quite excited at what you can bring to the table. I think it's some gifts and experience and talents that we don't currently have. And that's always wonderful and helpful. It's a diverse group, which I'm always excited about. And I think you will add to that. And I just want to say thank you.
Thank you, Alderman. Alderman Crishill.
Yeah, welcome aboard. Very impressed by your credentials here and your experience. That's awesome. And what a weird time to be appointed to the City Council when we're fully on Zoom and everything. But we'll get by. Welcome aboard.
Thank you, Alderman. Alderman Widener.
Thank you. Welcome, Mr. Anderson. Appreciate you coming forward and getting involved with the city's business. You have a fantastic background, experience, and outlooks and perspectives that you've shared. So I'm very positive about what you will bring to the City Council in helping us formulate decisions and move forward. It's a challenging time, and it sounds like everything you've said, you're definitely up for the challenge. So thank you.
Thank you, Alderman. And Alderman Wilson.
I would just welcome Jay, and I've heard a lot about you. I understand your background pretty well, and I look forward to you being a good member on the board of the City Council, and couldn't be more happy than having someone like you to fill in this spot that we have now.
Thank you, Alderman Wilson. And I'm going to go out on a limb, Jay, and say welcome aboard, even though we're about to have the vote. I think it's leaning in your favor at this point. So we're going to go ahead with the roll call.
Alderman Berry.
Aye.
Alderman Goodman.
Aye.
Alderman Widener.
Aye.
Alderman Crishill.
Aye.
Alderman Davalos.
Aye.
Alderman Ashour.
Aye.
Alderman Wilson.
Aye.
And there you are. Welcome again, Jay. Any final words you'd like to make tonight?
No, thank you so much, and I look forward to our first meeting.
Great. And sometime in the near future here, I'll be making arrangements, or Dawn will be making arrangements for you to come in and maybe bring your family so we can do the swearing in and get you officially on board.
Sounds great. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Okay. Where does that leave us? Was that the last pull off?
Regular.
All right. So we're on to the regular agenda. So would someone like to make that motion for item 7A, please?
Alderman Berry, I will make the motion to accept Tourism and Arts Commission recommendation and exclude the insurance cost from the amended grant request. And 2, accept Tourism and Arts Commission recommendation and approve a 12-month Vimeo subscription for the virtual event.
Second, Alderman Davalos.
Motion and a second. Discussion will begin with explanation by Assistant City Administrator White. Nothing to add?
I'm actually going to defer to Staff Liaison Leonardo Beltran on this item tonight.
Okay, Leo, are you there?
Yes, give me a second. Okay, there you go. Yes, the need to revise the CoffeeCon virtual event has come out of the request from the organizers. There is a need to revise the budget that was originally planned. TAC did hold a special meeting on November 24th and approved what items they could approve and provided a recommendation on the 2 items before you regarding not to approve the insurance cost of $34 and to approve the Vimeo subscription of $765. In your packet, there should be a revised budget for CoffeeCon and an explanation of some of the changes provided from the event organizers from CoffeeCon.
Thank you. And we have Pat Sindett on the line. Pat, would you like to make any comment?
There we go. Hi. I mean, it's unless there's any questions, yeah, that's the budget as we've been working through. My one comment is I hope that all the aldermen have had a chance to take a look at the website to see where how the event is shaping up. I believe we have 90% of our speakers, and we're working through the technology on this. We've got a great crew. We just did a test last week that was successful. We were able to get go live, so to speak, and successfully bring them in a remote location to our studio and then stream it out to the general public. So things are going along very well. Anything that you wanted to add?
You're doing fine, Pam.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Kevin. All right, and thank you, Pat. We'll go through the aldermen then for questions on this or comments. We're losing power somehow. That's not a good thing. Oh, the timer. Okay, Alderman, questions, comments on this item? Alderman Ashauer.
No questions or comments other than good luck with the event.
Great, thank you. Alderman Berry.
Yes, I was at the special meeting since I am the representative to the Tourism and Arts Commission, and this Vimeo subscription is very important because it's something that will get the event out there for 12 months. So it's almost like advertising for CoffeeCon, but at the same time advertising for Warrenville. So that's why the commission agreed to the 12-month subscription pricing instead of just for a one-day pricing only. So it's very important that be approved. Thank you.
Thank you, Alderman. Alderman Davalos.
Yes, I just want to, yeah, I'm in favor of this. I hope this meets the needs of the senates of Pat. I have talked to her, and I hope this is what will cover the things they were looking for. It looks like a great compromise. I'm excited about this event, as you all know. I think it's a great event. I also am very interested in how they are doing this in this COVID time. I think a lot of things can't be done, and I would have thought originally CoffeeCon couldn't have been. So I'm really excited to see. I know it's been a lot of work and a lot of adjustments and a lot of understanding how we do things now, but I think it's going to be a great success, and it's going to be wonderful for our town. And I think that a lot of people will look at this and see it and have a good time, and it's been a good compromise. And so I'm excited about it, and I just sounds like it's working out for everybody. So I'm definitely in favor. Thank you.
Thank you, Alderman. Alderman Goodman.
Thank you. I really only have one question, just sort of looking through the revised budget request, which is that there's sort of an additional $1,200 or so in capital, which has been reallocated for things like cables and plugs and power strips. And so my question is, are those going to be something that you can use next year for, future coffee cons when you do this again? Are you going to continue when we have live events having, the same technical needs for the online streaming components? I mean, what's your vision?
Back to you, Pat.
Kevin?
Or Kevin.
Okay, I think this is relatively safe for me. This is, thank you, Alderman Goodman. This is one area in which the
Uh-oh.
The sound went out. We can't hear you.
Oh, sorry.
Okay. Now it's okay.
Oh, am I good? Okay. I'm sorry. This is one area where the industry is kind of, the industry in a year will probably have new connecting types. They're always doing that. The second thing is, I mentioned this at the TAC meeting, so I just wanted to repeat. We kind of look at cables, unfortunately, as disposables in our business, because 97% of the failures that we have when we do online anything is the cables. So they get old fast. We actually go to the trouble. I'm pretty anal about one thing in my life, and that's wrapping cables. But they wear out. But as I said, they're available, and they're available to anyone who wants to use them after the event. And yes, they provided they're good cables, and provided the technology is still relevant. They should be fine. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. That answers my question.
Okay, thank you, Alderman. Alderman Crucial?
No, just good luck with Yvette. I think it's a good example of how you're faced with a unique problem, and like Alderman Davalos said, thinking maybe this one wasn't going to be able to happen, and thinking outside the box and providing a solution. I think this is pretty great. So good luck.
Thank you.
Thank you, Alderman. Alderman Widener?
Thank you. I have no questions other than to say good luck with the event. I hope it's a great success.
Thank you. And Alderman Wilson?
I would echo that exactly. Hope it's a good success, and good luck for it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, well, it's unanimous then, Pat. We'll take the vote now. May I have a roll call, please?
Alderman Davalos.
Aye.
Alderman Ashour.
Aye.
Alderman Crucial.
Aye.
Alderman Widener.
Aye.
Alderman Wilson.
Aye.
Alderman Berry.
Aye.
Alderman Goodman.
Aye.
Motion carries. Best wishes, Pat and Kevin. Hope it goes well.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, everyone.
All right, we have nothing under unfinished business and nothing listed for new business. We do, however, have the need for a closed session this evening. So if I could have the citations, please, Alderman Berry.
I'd like to make a motion to go into closed session for the purpose of 5 ILCS 120/2 collective negotiating matters between the public body and its employees or their representatives, or deliberations concerning salary schedules for one or more classes of employees. And 5 ILCS 120/2 the appointment, employment, compensation, discipline, performance, or dismissal of specific employees of the public body or legal counsel for the public body, including hearing testimony on a complaint lodged against an employee of the public body or against legal counsel for the public body to determine its validity.
Second, Alderman Davalos.
Motion and a second. May I have a roll call, please?
Alderman Berry,
Aye.
Alderman Widener,
Aye.
Alderman Chrisell,
Aye.
Wilson. Alderman Wilson,
Aye.
Alderman Ashour,
Aye.
Alderman Goodman,
Aye.
Alderman Davalos.
Aye.
Motion carries. We will now go into closed session. We will not be conducting any business after the closed session, but anyone wishing to stay on the call may do so until the meeting has officially ended and been concluded. So thank you very much for your attention this evening. Are we going to change rooms?
Good night, Bob.
Good night, Bob.
Well, you can't ask for a more warm welcome than Jay got, huh? Wasn't that nice?
He seems like a genuinely nice person.